Different seats.
Z and Sadiq questionable. I know Sadiq was a late add. Any update on those two?
Both going through their routines, and we'll have a better sense probably, in the next hour.
And then I know that was the first question I asked you last night was about the transition offense. Is there anything that jumped out on film that stood out that could be something you could look at?
I thought we were playing fast. Then I watched the film and I look at the numbers. It was one of our highest paced games like that. We were up the court, the ball was moving. The pace was extremely high for us. So that's the identity. We got to lean into this. There's going to be some growing pains as we're not as comfortable in that space yet, and it's okay to be uncomfortable right now. We got to go do this, and I think through it there might be some turnovers. Those are some tough ones. You turn them over, and instead of converting, they turn us over. Those are the tough ones. So I liked our pace. We did not convert their turnovers as much as I would have liked. They did a better job converting our turnovers. Basically, turnovers were even last night. They did a better job converting than us. Same thing tonight. We have a very big challenge tonight, a team that turns you over. Obviously, we don't want to turn them over, but we got to be aggressive ourselves. We have to turn them over. It's going to be a possession game tonight, ultimately, the board and turnovers.
We talked on Saturday about how the first three games out of the gate were such unique scouts, and we saw what happened last night with Steph, and now tonight it's a different animal with SGA because of how he loves to drive the ball.
Well, if I had told you that, Steph was going to have, 8 points, I when I watched the film, I think that's as good a job as I've seen anybody do on him individually. I mean, Herb was fantastic last night. I couldn't ask him to do more. And it wasn't just him, it was everybody, collectively doing it. And then Moody had to go in and throw in a Klay Thompson game, So, and some of that was on us. Some of his shots were on us. The first two bothered me because they were off offensive rebounds. That's what got him going. It was nothing they ran for him. It wasn't even a transition. They literally got the board 2 times, kicked it out, wide open shot, got him going. We got to nip that. That's, to me, the possession game. We got to rebound better. Our 2 centers, or 2 of our 3 centers, like even Carlo can't have 1 defensive rebound each. And that's what I'm challenging them on right now. We got to get more out of that position on the board. It's not just them. Collectively, we got to go find a way to rebound on the defensive end.
Bryce McGowan got a little bit more run last night. What is it with him that you kind of saying would make you play a little bit more?
I like his downhill aggression. I mean, he's a downhill driver. I think every time he touched it, he was driving it with force. He can touch the paint. He makes good decisions. He can score the ball at the rim. I think his shooting has improved. Peavy's in that mix too. Peavy's a part of that equation, as of right now with the roster. And last night I leaned a little bit more into his offensive game. Peavy gives us a ton of defense. We trust him. I think you could see both of these guys tonight, especially depending on Sadiq. You could see both these guys. But I like Bryce's downhill mentality, ability to put pressure on the rim.
You decided to give Derek his first start last night. What kind of went into the thinking behind that decision? And what do you really want to see with him when he's with that starting group, just to try to get the most not out of him but the other people around him as well?
Yeah, I think we're trying to figure this rotation out, and we haven't seen him with the starting unit, and obviously if Z's back, we're going to have to look at that lineup some. We're trying to, explore a little bit this roster and how we could utilize DQ. So I liked his minutes even last night. I thought he's a big part of us rebounding the ball, number one. He's got to rebound, he does that. His rebounding translates from college. I think he had 7 defensive rebounds. He's not, people would say he's probably not the fastest guy, or he doesn't play at this massive speed, but he has a great job to start our break. When he rebounded the ball last night, he started our break. We had a high points per possession. He generated a lot of good shots for us when he rebounded the ball and brought it. So we need more of that from him. I want to see him ignite our fast break game by rebounding the ball and pushing it and creating for us. So, yeah, I thought he had a good start. I got to try to find a way to involve him probably a little bit more earlier in games, because that first group's out running, and sometimes he could get lost there. I could probably do a little bit better job trying to get him, especially in the half-court stuff, you know, side out of bounds, after makes, after dead balls, utilizing his playmaking a little bit more in the half-court.
Do you kind of have a philosophy as far as would you rather pick a start group and stick with it, or are you more open to kind of shifting things from night to night kind of based on matchup or other factors?
Ideally, someday I'd love to say we're in a place where we have our starting unit. I would love that. I think those are the best teams right there. But as a coach, especially right now with where we're at, we're going to explore a little bit and try some different things. If it was working, I wouldn't be here. So, you know, you got to try some different things and see what works, you know, and I think we got to keep our guys on edge too. You know, nobody has, and I'm certainly not just going to hand over a starting job right now. I think you got to earn it, and we got to see if it's working or not. Good, thanks.